I've always had a fear of heights. I can't even remember how far back, but I've never been able to go near the window when I'm in a tall building, tall being over, say, 7 stories. I don't even walk near the edge of anything. And just sort of to see how effective the program might be, I figured we'd tackle what is, certainly one of my biggest challenges. So again, I did the 1-minute life repair system for my fear of heights, and I felt comfortable in big buildings, comfortable going up towards the windows, and have actually looked over the edge of a building and see what the perspective looked like from 25 stories up. Walking out onto a balcony is something I could never have done before.
Now, people may say to this, and at the end of listening to this whole program, well, what happens if you're talking about this? What happens if you die? Well, what we're doing is that we're creating a new belief in mass consciousness. Because one of the ultimate false beliefs, of which I have found 12 significant universal false beliefs that affect mass consciousness, is that death is inevitable. So that's working along the lines of choosing life, and that life is inevitable. You see, because if you say to me death is inevitable, which all these natural scientists and all the people of that ilk talk about, they can't talk about that unless they understood the opposite. Well, what's the opposite? Is life is inevitable. We're taking the other side. It's as reasonable and as laudable and as coherent a notion as death is inevitable. We're taking an opposite stance. We're entitled, we're allowed, but everybody dies, they said. Everybody's died. No, it's not the case. Within the literature and the liturgy and the ancient wisdom tradition, there are people who have lived, who have not died. We have evidence of that if you have faith in that direction. Because there is no faith in the world of doubt. You can't say, I have faith in the doubt world. The world that we grow up in and that is surrounding us, that we live in the time-space dimensional reality, is a doubt world. And we're going more into that when we get to the disemergency and the yes or no phenomenon about doubt and the doubt world. We live in a doubt world. You can't say I have faith in the doctor. Doctors have their place. The medical doctors have their place. You don't have faith in the doctor. Can't do that. Faith only pertains to your relationship to the invisible reality, to the vertical reality, to the divine reality. That's where faith is. You can't use the word in the everyday world. You have faith that the invisible world or the divine world will give that doctor the means to take care of you. Nor can a person, a skeptic who writes a book like God is not great, God doesn't exist, and so on, a doubter can't talk about the faith world. The faith world is not subject to statements about doubt. Doubt only pertains to the man-made, everyday, time-space world. It can't exist. You can't talk about it in this world of vertical, free reality. You can't talk about it there. It's not a word that pertains. You understand? So it's a word that you can use for the everyday world, for the everyday life situation. So you buy a car and they tell you, this car, your engine will last 500,000 miles. I got my doubts, right? This washing machine will never break down, the guy tells you. I got my doubts. It's a man-made machine. So you can't say it may have a certain lifespan that we have noted through constant replication and of use of this machine over time. We find that it tends to last X amount of time, which you can talk about in the machine world. But guess what? We're not machines. We're living, breathing human beings that are far more than the machines that we've been taught to become or have tried to be made by the forces in the man-made world. So the 1-minute life repair is taking you out of that life into a new life. So whatever you hear in the man-made world, in this everyday time-space world, we call it the man-made world, not the God-made world. This man-made world, what it says to you, you'll respond with, and rightfully so, as the natural scientists have done. I have doubts about this, and I'm inquiring through the function of doubt, which is correct, because you want to have doubts about not accepting the conclusions that the man-made world or the everyday world offers. But you can't tell me I doubt the existence of the invisible reality, because it's not an applicable term. It's a mixing. It's a mixing. You're mixing terms. You're using a word that pertains to a certain realm of existence to define another realm of existence which is not one where there is a sense of uncertainty. When you have a relation to the unseen world, to the invisible reality, the unseen world, you're certain. And that is what we call trust or faith. So I don't have faith that the car will last 500,000 miles. I may have faith in the car manufacturer's good intentions to offer something because God will allow him to build a car that will last a long time. I have faith that the invisible reality will take care of it. Is it mixing when a doctor tells a patient they have 6 months to live? I think it's a rhetorical question. We have a rhetorician in the audience. Is it rhetorical? Yes. She nodded yes. What is she going to do? She's going to tell me no? I'm asking, I put her on the spot. Is it truly rhetorical? Sure, it's rhetorical. The question is rhetorical. Of course it's mixing, because he's using doubt or a conclusionary statement, which we're going to come to, as a way of fixing you with a belief that you're going to hold in your consciousness, which is going to do you in. Because if I believe I'm going to die in 6 months, guess what? What I conceive or misconceive, because I buy into the outside influence, what I misconceive, I'm going to perceive, and I see myself, even though I'm not aware of it because I haven't put your attention on it, I see myself in a coffin being buried. And what will be birth? Death. So mixing death into life. We are human bodies. We start in the time-space world. When we're choosing life, aren't we transcending the body? You're starting from the body. The body is the starting point because we're born into a time-space world as a body. So we don't negate the body. It's the starting point for the rest. So we begin by it, but we don't have to concern ourselves. It takes care of itself. As you do the work of the 1-minute life repair, things are coming into order.